Okay, we have a two-part assignment here. Okay. Okay, the first part, you're going to review how to find slopes. Okay, there's two ways to first from a graph. Okay, this is from a graph. So slope equals rise over run. Now start from the left. Okay, left, and pick the circle the first point. That's point 1. This is point 2. So from here to here, I have to go up, down. Well, I have to go down, so I count by negatives. -1, -2. So -2 is the rise. Then the run. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is the run. So you have -2 over 4. Now see if you can reduce that with your chart. Okay. See 2 and 4 are in the second row, so we can divide by 2. And -1/2 equals M. Okay. Now let's do another one. Okay, so rise. Again, left, obviously starting at this point, going to this point. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So +4 is your rise. You count by positives when moving up. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. 4/9. Okay. Well, 4/9. I mean, 9's not a multiple of 4, and 4, it's not a multiple of 2. So I think it's in simplest form. So 4 over 9 equals the final M. Okay, now, next part, we are going to find the slope of the line with 2 given points. So you see the 2 points, you just don't see them on a graph. 1, 3, 4, -1. So remember how to find the slope from just 2 points when you don't see the graph. It's y minus y, x minus x. Okay, so compare the x's, 1 and 4. This is the higher one, so I start with this one. So -1 on top, 4 on bottom, and then 3 after the -3 on top, 1 on bottom. Now figure out each one. -1 minus 3 would be -4. 4 minus 1 is 3. Now if you look up 4 and 3, they're only in the first row, so we can't divide by any common factors, and it's fine if it's improper. So negative, there's your answer. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do a second one. 2, 1, 3, -8. So that's x, that's y. X, that's y. Y minus y. X minus x. So 2 and 3, obviously 3 is higher, so -8, 3. And then after the minuses, we're going to have 1 and 2. -8 minus 1 is -9. 3 minus 2 is 1. And then 9 over, whenever you have 1, you can't really, 1 and 9, just 1, so equals L. Okay, so if you want to pause the video and do assignment 1 through 4, that's fine, and then resume it when you're ready. When you go to 5 and 8, you got to continue the video. So you can pause it and do 1 through 4. Okay, hopefully that went well. Now, here's these problems. You're going to need a lot of workspace, so when you make your 8 boxes, okay, you're going to need 4 boxes for each problem. Each pair of points lies on a line with the given slope, so they're going to tell us our slope, but we need to find the missing value in the coordinate. Find the value of x or y variable. So here's the first problem. You got 1, y, 5, 5, and then a semicolon and telling us that the slope is -1 over 2. Now on the document, -1/2, the negative is just with the 1, the 2 is positive, okay? So when you see those fractions and negatives, the bottom's always positive. Our job is to find what y equals at the end of this. Well, here's what you're going to do. You are going to write y minus y over x minus x equals the slope, which is -1 over 2. Now you're going to put xy, xy here, and then write the equation. You still got -1 over 2. You got to make sure stuff stays lined up. Okay. So you put minus, minus. Now compare your x's, 1 and 5. So 5 is higher, so I go 5, 5. Then here I put y after it and then 1. Okay. Now I want you to look at that. I can't figure out 5 minus y. I don't know what y is, but 5 minus 1 I can figure out. That's 4. Now you're going to apply you're going to circle that, okay? And then a times b is equal to c times d. So you're going to come up here and make your parentheses, okay? A times b, c times d. Because you're not going to be able to just cross multiply and divide. That's not going to work. Okay, so a is the expression 5 minus y, and then b is going to be 2, c is going to be -1, and d is going to be 4. Now over here I can figure this out pretty easily. -1 times 4 is -4. But what about over here? Make that a plus negative on your minus, put a 1 in front of the y, and you need to distribute your 2. Okay, here's your plus, so I'm going to write. So down here I'm going to write 2 and 2, and I will be multiplying it by -1y and then by 5. So I put y down, 2 times -1 is -2, and that's just going to be 10. So I drop down a plus, and I've got -2y plus 10. Now I can solve for y. We have a times -2 and a plus 10. Circle the times. You're going to need to get your 10 to 0 by subtracting it from each side. -4 minus 10 is -14. -2 times y. And then if you see times, you need to divide to solve it. Okay, that's 7. So y is 7. Okay, and okay, this next problem is a little bit weird. This is not going to happen often. Okay, 0, -1. x3. Slope equals 2. Now when it just gives you a 2, you put a 1 under it. You're going to need that 1. And you need to solve for x this time. So y minus y over x minus x equals the slope 2 over 1. Now fill as much of this in as you can. Now 0 and x, you're like, well, how do I compare those when it says x? Well, we're going to start with the unknown. We'll start with x then. When I have one of them as a variable, start with that one. So go 3 over x. Then after the minuses, you're going to have -1 over 0. Now I can figure out the top. I can go plus 1, okay, and 3 plus 1 gives me 4. Now actually here, just on this problem here, when you have -0, as long as it has to be a 0, you can just get rid of that, okay? And now you can just cross multiply and divide because you got 4 over x equals 2 over 1, okay? So 4 times 1 is 4, divided by 2 is going to be 2. That does not happen often, okay? Because a lot of I didn't do that. It wasn't that easy here because I didn't have zeros, a 5 with it. 0. I don't think that happens on the assignment, so yeah. Unfortunately, because it goes a little quicker, but it's also kind of throws people off. So we got x with -3 and then 5 with -4. And then the slope is -1/3. Remember, the negative is only with the 1, not the 3. Okay, so we're solving for x this time. So y minus y over x minus x equals the slope, which is -1 over 3. So we got -1 over 3. Now we need to fill as much of that y minus y, x minus x out as we can. So x with 5, go with the x, okay? Do that first. So -3 over x. Then, after the minus, -4 over 5. Now we can figure the top out, We can just get a single value up there. Plus plus, negative 3 plus 4 is 1, positive 1. So we have 1 over x minus 5 equals negative 1 over 3. Just write it so it looks better. Now we need to apply the Abcd method. You can't just cross multiply and divide because the x has an operation of minus 5. Okay. So Abcd. So I line that up. And then it's like an earlier section. A times B, C times D. So A is 1, B is 3, C is negative 1, D is x minus 5. So the left side's easy. 1 times 3 is 3. Where the variable's at, make sure you put a plus negative there. You can put a 1 in front of the x. I would recommend that. And then you distribute your negative 1. Okay, so negative 1 is going to be times by 1x. And then after the plus, it's going to be times by negative 5. So I write x down, negative 1, then positive 5. So you end up with negative 1x plus 5. So the wall's over here now, times and plus, minus your 5, get that to 0. 2 minus 5 is negative 2, you got negative 1 times x. Now if I have times, I need to divide. Okay, and that gives me 2. So 2 is my solution for x. Okay, next one, we have 4, comma y, 8, comma negative 6. With the slope given to me of 1/2, so 1 over 2. Okay, so y minus y, x minus x. I know what that equals. It's 1 over 2, but I have to go in and find the y. So when I compare 4 with 8 on the x's, I'm starting here definitely. 8's bigger than 4. So negative 6 over 8. Then y over 4. Remember, it's this over this, the y over the x. Okay, now I can figure out 8 minus 4. That's 4. So we have negative 6 minus y over 4 equals 1 over 2. Now it's as simplified as I can make it. Now I got to apply my A times B equal to C times D. Okay, so A, negative 6 minus y. Make that plus negative and put a 1 in front of the y so you have the plus there ready to go. Times 2. And then C is 1 times 4, 1, and D is 4. So the right side, 1 times 4 is 4. The left side, I need to distribute my 2. Okay, so, I'll go down here. 2, 2. Times negative 1y times negative 6. So I put y with negative 2 and then negative 12. So I write my plus down, and I'll have negative 2y, negative 12. Okay, wall, so multiplying. Get your negative 12 to 0 by adding 12. 16. And then finally we divide, and that gives me my answer for y. Okay, that's going to be negative 8. Okay, next part, next 2. Go over 4 more of these. Okay, you have 2, 4, x8, slope equals negative 2, semicolon. So your job is to find what x is. Y minus y, x minus x. Slope would be negative 2 over 1. You need to put a 1 there if you don't have it, because otherwise the proportion's all screwed up. Okay, when I compare x's, okay, we'll start with the one with the x. So 8 on top, x on bottom. Then 4 on top, 2 on bottom. So 8 minus 4 is 4, so that's been simplified a little bit, but I can't figure out x minus 2. So to solve for x, I do my a times b, c times d. Okay. So a times b, c times d. So a is 4 and b is 1. So that's just 4 times 1 there. C is -2. D is x minus 2. Make it x plus -2, please. Put the 1 in front of the x. So 4 times 1 is 4. Now over here you have to again distribute. Okay. So you're going to have -2, -2. First times 1x and times -2. So it's going to be x with -2, and that's 4. So plus -2x4. Make your wall. Mark the times, okay? Minus your 4. You get 0, that's okay. Keep going. -2 times x. Then I need to divide by -2. That's 0 equals x. Now I will continue the video, but I got to switch batteries.